So I've had quite a few requests to do some videos about my favourite varieties, and so today, because we're heading into winter, I thought I'd do a video about my favourite salad ingredients. And yeah, and that is mainly, I've got to say, lettuces. We really love our lettuces. We have a big salad every day, Debbie and I, and it's a really important part of our diet, and the quality of winter lettuces is just so impressive. So let's get on and have a look around. So I thought I'd just start with one of the polytunnel salad beds, and you can see I've got a nice mix of different things here, and these are all favourites. So this one is Grenoble Red, and you can notice immediately that it's not very red, and that's because it's not winter yet. And so these are winter lettuces, and they'll colour up really nicely. This will have a nice bronze tinge around the edges here, and this is probably, I think, the best winter lettuce. It's beautifully tender in winter. I really love it. It does have a little tiny bit of a crunch, but generally it's just very tender and lovely. And this bed needs picking now, so all of these outer leaves need to be taken off, and that will make space for all of these spring onions that are growing interplanted everywhere. And spring onions are an absolutely essential ingredient in every salad mix that we do, and right now there isn't enough space for them, but there will be soon. So this is Bijou, and you can just see this starting to colour up really nicely now. It will go a little bit deeper than this. I don't grow a huge number of red lettuces, and that's because they're just, the growth rate is quite low in winter, and they are a little bit susceptible to green fly. But generally when I notice green fly on these, I'll take them out, and that's not a big deal for me because I've spaced them like this so that I can plant calabrese in the gaps when I take those out, and that will probably be sometime in late winter. And then in the centres here I've got Roxy, and again all these outer leaves are now ready for picking. And Roxy's a lovely lettuce, and again it's not particularly inspiring right now. This will again colour up to be a beautiful deep kind of not bronzy red lettuce, really lovely. Another big favourite of mine. It gets better and better basically as we move out of winter and into early spring. And then down here we've got some absolutely beautiful parsley. And then if we move outside and take a look at some of the coal frames, then we've got some really nice tatsoi, and I'm really fond of these small little leaves in the salads, and they're really nice and add a nice bit of crunch. The stem is really crunchy and they're really hardy. They're doing beautifully. And then we've got some salad rocket, and I like a little bit of salad rocket in my salad mixes. And then we'll take a quick look in one of the low tunnels, and this is what I like about the coal frames and the low tunnels. They're just great for growing the salad crops. The polytunnel is good too, but the polytunnel is really at its best when the weather is really lousy. But I'm quite happy, and the lettuces are quite happy growing outside for the whole of the year really. But obviously when it's really raining and really windy, it's not very nice harvesting out here. So this is flashy trout. It's very similar to freckles. They're basically the same thing. It's another really nice winter lettuce. This is about as interesting as it gets in terms of the look of it. But you can see all the spring onions growing nicely in this bed too. And then we've got some others here, which these are all experimental lettuces though, so I'll not really talk about these. They're not my favourites as yet. And then also in another coal frame, we've got some absolutely beautiful spinach, and the smaller leaves off this spinach again make a really lovely addition to a salad mix. And then under this low tunnel we've got some more Roxy, and it's interesting that this, you can now see, is colouring up quite nicely, because the low tunnels are nowhere near as warm as the polytunnel, so as they experience a bit of the cold, they just colour up really nicely. And I think this is one of the really nice things about growing over winter, all this amazing colour. And I'm not a huge fan of kale in salad mixes, but I do have these beautiful little kale plants at the moment, so I might be tempted. And I've got some nice little turnip greens in the centres as well, which are coming on very well. And again, this is another Grenoble red in a coal frame this time, and you can just start to see it's starting to colour up a little bit on the edges of the leaves. And at this time of year, I really like to have carrots in salad mixes, and we've got carrots everywhere at the moment, and a mix of big and small. These are Eskimo. I'll clean those up a bit before I eat them though. I do like a bit of soil in the diet, but there's a bit too much there. And then in midwinter, we like to have ochre in the salads, and ochre is just so lovely and colourful and crunchy and crispy. It's a real delight. And then outside in the garden, we've got these little beauties. So these are corn salad or lamb's lettuce, and these are one of the few things that grow well outside. And about January, early February, when the lettuces are growing at their slowest, we've got this bed in reserve, and it just bulks out the salad mixes a little bit. And even though they grow outside, they're a really tender leafed crop, very mild tasting, slightly nutty. They're really lovely. So I hope you enjoyed that quick look at all of my favourite lettuce varieties and a few other salads as well. And some people say, well, why don't I grow more mustards? Well, I just don't like mustards basically, and I'm just not prepared to compromise my diet. They do grow quite well at this time of year, and that's obviously why some people grow them, but no, I can grow as many salads as I need, and yeah, so I'm going to grow the types of leaves that we really like in our mixes, and that's mostly lettuces with a few extras to add a little bit of colour and spice. But no, I'm just not a big fan of mustards, unfortunately. Anyway, I'll see you soon.